Hey, welcome into the barn. I'm going to throw out some advice today, which I think is going to be helpful. Hopefully it's helpful to you. I've owned horses for about 55 years. So, seen a lot in that period of time. And I did a video a couple of years ago on common mistakes that first-time horse buyers make. So if you're getting ready to buy your first horse and you haven't done it yet, then I really hope you'll click. I'm going to put a link in the description right below here and link that so you can go watch that. But this video is for horse owners. If you've actually bought your first horse and you've brought him home, well, first of all, welcome to the horse world. Those of us who do it because we love it. We love these animals. We love the life of living with them, the interaction and all of that stuff. That's why we do it. But there's some pretty common mistakes that new horse owners make, and so I want to go through those, and maybe I can help you with that. The first one is that new horse owners commonly do not educate themselves on horse herd dynamics, because horses are herd animals, and they think like a herd animal, and they react like a herd animal, and the things they want are all revolve around herd dynamics. And I just did a Google search, actually it was a YouTube search this morning, and I found a bunch of videos on herd dynamics. So it's not that hard to educate yourself on that and help you to understand what it is your horse wants and how your horse thinks. And that'll help you a lot. Second most common mistake, and these kind of connect together, the second most common mistake that I see is anthropomorphism, which is a big $3 word that just means we project human feelings and emotions onto non-human objects. And we do it a lot of times just joking. We name our horse, or name our car Betty, and we say Betty doesn't feel good today and Betty won't start today. So we do it with cars and things like that. We do it to our dogs. When you do it to a horse, how it commonly works is we assume that the horse has human emotions, human feelings, human desires, human reasoning, and they don't have any of those, or very few. Horses can't reason like we humans do. Horses don't have human feelings like jealousy or envy or desire for retribution, and people attribute those kind of things to horses because they just don't really understand horses and how they think and how they react. So that's the second common thing. Third one is that first-time horse buyers kind of tend to treat their horses a little bit like a machine. And we don't do it intentionally or even consciously, I think. But you know, when you have a four-wheeler, you can take it to the mechanic in September and get it all fixed up and put it in the garage, and then in April you can bring it out and start it up and take off. You can't do that with a horse. Your horse is not a machine. Your horse is a living, breathing animal, and he requires constant interaction, constant education, constant attention. They're more like a 3-year-old than they are a machine. And so we kind of need to be careful about having a machine mentality when we're dealing with animals, because they definitely are not machines. And then the last one is that, this is kind of my thing, we Americans, in my opinion, we tend to overfeed ourselves and our animals. And so it's very common for first-time horse owners to overfeed their horse. A horse, and this is easy to find out, you can Google this pretty easily, a horse should eat about 2% of its body weight every day in hay. Now, let me show you something. This is about 10 pounds of hay right here. So an average 1,000-pound horse should eat that much in the morning and the same amount in the evening, and that's it. That's all. The end. You're done. Oh, but look at all this fancy stuff at the feed store, okay? And I do feed a little bit of pellet feed, and this happens to be Purina, but there's probably a dozen companies that make good quality pellet feed. But this is a 3-pound scoop, and I feed my horses that much, a half of a scoop per day. And mostly, more than anything, it's just so when I shake the bucket and call their name, they'll come running. That's mostly the way they do it. The only exception to that would be a performance horse. If you're training your horse hard for reining or barrel racing or roping or something like that, yeah, that would be an exception. But most of us don't do that. Most horses are pleasure horses, they're backyard horses, and overfeeding them is really, really just not a good idea. Okay, so if you have any questions about your first horse, put them in the comments. If I can answer them, I will, and hope that's helpful to you.